Howdy and welcome back. Today we'll be doing another episode of World in Flames CE Days of Decision 3 playthrough. This will be the September-October turn 1940. Last turn we saw a whole bunch of naval activity. The Chinese continued their retreat a little bit, and there was one good Japanese attack and one really bad one. There was some naval battles that happened. It really was a pretty active turn last turn, even though it was short. And it did end on the communist impulse, so there was no change on the markers. So let's take a look at starting money. Let's get right into it. All right, starting money for the major powers. I don't know if you can see that good. I think maybe that's a little better. There we go. All right, so starting money for the major powers. We have Germany at -2, Japan at -5, Italy at -3, USSR at -3, Commonwealth at -6, USA at -3, and China, the most unusual, is at 1. I had to make an adjustment to the Chinese money because I had made a mistake calculating it. I calculated it at a 1 and for their production multiple, and their production multiple is actually 3/4, so they actually have 1 money less. Didn't matter too much because there's not a whole lot of difference between 1 and 2. So we have the Free French at -6 because they built the DoDIII headquarters last turn. And Vichy French at 3. Don't really know how much that's going to matter because the only thing that Vichy can build is ships. Alright, let's see. We got 2 major powers bidding. We have Japan bidding 1 and Italy bidding 1. And Italy's going for 2 options. The Japanese bid 1. They get +4 because they didn't get a political option last turn. So that gives them a 7. All right. That gives them a 7, and the Italians bid 1. They get a +4, which equals 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, so that's going to put them in second. So Japan with 7 is going to go to first. Italy with 2.5 is going to go to second. And that is that. And that is in. That's the first card and last card. Now we have Germany at 3 for the non-bidding powers and Commonwealth at 3. Well, they both have the same political effectiveness now because of the Italian declaration of war on the Commonwealth last turn. So the tie is broken by their current order. So Germany will be 3rd, Commonwealth will be 4th, the Soviets will be 5th, the US and France are tied, and they're also tied for political effectiveness, so they're going to continue their current order, and China in last, as usual. Okay, let's go see what these guys. Actually, Germany will pay for that. Germany will pay for the Italian option. Isn't that nice of them, huh? All right, let's go see what the Italians. Okay, the Italians is going to be easy. Okay. But Japan's first, so let's go check out what the Japanese are going to do. All right. I'm going to have some fun with this, I think. Japan is going to demand Vichy territory. Haven't seen this option yet. May not play this option if the Vichy major power is hostile to you. They are not. May not choose the Vichy home country. The U.S. may not choose this option. Okay, she's not at war, so she can't do that anyways. It says apply half the Vichy major powers war chart for modifiers. But I don't have that war chart, so I'm just going to invert the French one. Use the French one for Free French and invert it for the Vichy French, and that seems to make sense to me. It's going to cost 3 money. Let's see what it is. Okay, optionalize take control of any one territory of a major power is entered into Vichy surrender. That's the French. Gain control of the territory by rolling 1 or less on a die. Modify this die roll by half per sea area and territory between the territory being demanded in the Vichy home country. So let's check that out. So we're going to demand Japan's going to demand French Indochina, so it's half per sea area or territory. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, Red Sea is 4, Eastern Mediterranean is 5, Western Mediterranean is 6. Excuse me. So that's going to be a -3. -1 for each initiative position you are lower than the controlling major powers. Germany is a controlling major power. Japan is 1, and Germany is 3, so that's going to be another -2. Okay, not a different ideology. I'm not the original owner, so it looks like it's going to be a -5 to the die. And got to roll a 1 or less. Now, where'd my die go? All right, 1 or less. Okay. We rolled a 4. So that's 4. 3 is 1. So -3 is 1. -2 is a -1. So it does. So French Indochina is now transferred to Japan. That will now become a part of the Japanese empire, so to speak. Okay. So I will go around and apply all these modifiers and record the U.S. entry and be right back with activating minor. Okay, Japan has decided they're going to activate Chile. So I'll grab all the markers over here. There's actually quite a few markers on Chile. So we have a +3 for Japan, +1 for Commonwealth, +1 for China, +1 for USA, +1 for Italy. So none of the ones are going to do anything, so we'll just dispense with all of them. Now, we got +2 for Germany and +3 for Japan. Now, see, this is going to be important how we do this, because if we do the German first, it's going to move the marker over to Germany, and I don't think Germany really wants anything to do with Chile. It's the other side of the other hemisphere of the globe. They don't really. So they would rather see them in Japan's hands than anybody. So we're going to activate the 3 Japanese first. Now, it costs 2 per hex. However, it's going to be -1 moving towards Japan in their own ideology. So this is going to cost 1. It's going to cost 2, and then 1, and 0, and then 1. So it's then 2. 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. So the last 2 will move it here. Then we can activate the German for 2, and that will just not move it anyways, because it's going to cost 2 for the hex, and then 1 for moving away, and then one for leaving the hex of a major power. That it would cost 4 to go here, but it's -1 because they're moving towards Germany, which can control them in their own ideology. So it would be 3 to get to that hex. So that's not enough to move it. Okay, so Japan doesn't have to roll to see if they end the political phase. Next up's Italy. last up is Italy. Second up and last up. Okay, Italy is going to pay for the DoW they took last turn on the Commonwealth. Everything's been paid and already all the markers have been put out. All they'd have to do is just use the political option. That's what they're going to do. We don't get to activate a minor, however, I have to roll to see if they end the political phase. 7 keeps them going. So their second political option, they will select minor joins in for their alignment of Hungary. That they did that also last turn. They paid for it last turn. All the markers were already put out, but they do get to activate a minor. So Italy does get to activate a minor. I think who they will activate. I don't know. I gotta look at this. I'll be right back. Okay, Italy's decided they're going to activate Ireland. Now this ought to be some fun. This ought to be some fun. All right, let's get the Irish marker in the screen here. Right there, you can see them. They're just off the center hex right here. So let's take a look at what we got for markers. We have a -7 French. We have a 7 US. We have a 2 Italian. We have a 2 German. And we have a -8 Commonwealth. So we're going to do the Commonwealth first. 6. So that's going to be -8. That's going to be 4 hexes away. Wink. Moves it all the way down there. Make sure it's not more than 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10. Okay. Then we'll do the US next. That's a +7. That's going to move it 3 hexes. Back. All right. Then we'll do the -7 French. That's going to kind of move it in this direction. So we're going to kind of go 1, 2, 3. Like that. Then we'll do the two Italian, I guess. Oh, I should do the 2 German. I can move. 2, 3. Yeah, 2 Italian doesn't matter. It might make a difference. So the 2 Italian will move it there. And the 2 German is not enough to get it into the fascist ideology. So that's where it stops. After running all over the place. Okay. That's the end of the political phase. I will roll initiative, roll weather, and be right back to show reinforcements. Okay, the initiative roll came out. 5 for the Democrats, 6 for the Soviets, and 7 for the fascists. 5, 6, 7. There are no modifiers to the die because all the major powers are, all the ideologies are in the same box right now, the +1 box right here. So it doesn't make a difference. Nobody's going to ask for a reroll. It's November, December. It's September, October rather. So it shouldn't be that bad. The weather roll was a 3, which is the impulse marker moves up 1, and it's fair weather everywhere. So fair weather everywhere, the impulse marker moves up 1. Okay, let's go take a look at reinforcements for this turn. September, October. Let's see what we got. All right. Okay. So I got a militia unit for the Japanese. That'll go on map. We have a militia unit for the Italians. That will go on map. We have we have an infantry army and a garrison army for the Soviets. That will go on map. We have 5 offensive points for the Germans. That goes on the chart. wherever it is. It's right there. So they have 9. Probably going to need a lot more than that. All right, we also have a Stuka, very good Stuka, range of 6. That's going to go on map. Reduce the pilots. We have a Naval Air. That's going to go on map for the Germans. Reduce the pilots. We have a Combat Air Group. I'll have to take a look at that. We have another oh, it's a long-range naval bomber, I think. Okay, that's going to go on map. We'll reduce the pilots. They now have 0 pilots. That includes the one they built. We got the Italians get a pilot. Okay. We have the Romanian headquarters. That will go on map. We have a Japanese garrison unit. That will go on map. We have a Japanese infantry army. That will go on map. The Italians got a naval division. That's going to go on map. They also have another float plane. I'll reduce their pilots by 1. That will go on map. Germans get a ship. That's got to go on map. Oh, the Japanese got some other troopage. They also got a naval, special naval landing force division. That's going on map. Japanese got a pilot. What do I do with the markers? Right here. Pilots, pilots, pilots. Japanese also have a bunch of carrier air groups here. I'm going to put them in the reserve pool for now. Take a look at them later. Oh, the British have a carrier. Much needed carrier. That's going to go on map. I'm sure they'll put something on that as well. Oh, the Soviets got a couple more units here. Oh, they got the Vatutin headquarters and an artillery unit. The Italians got the Carrio Duilio. I do believe that is it. Oh no, there's 2 guys right here. The Chinese got a really nice elite communist infantry army and a communist garrison army. Those will both go on map. I think all those are in here. Okay. Alright, I think that's it. Alright, I'll get these reinforcements deployed onto the map where they need to be, and I'll be right back with the first impulse for the Democrats. Okay, so the Democrats finished their movement. The French took a combined, Free French took a combined, not that it matters. The U.S. took a combined. They're not doing any, moving anything really. The Chinese, I'll show you that in a minute, but the British took a naval, and they sorted their fleets. There's nothing in the Bay of Biscay now. The British have managed to reroute it. We got a few ships covering that one. There's also nothing in the Mediterranean as of now. Got some unit embarked right there. And the Chinese, the only thing they moved is that the Democrats moved this unit from here down to here. That's all they did. Right there. From here to here. Okay, and that was the end of the Democrat impulse. We moved on to the Communist impulse. The Communists moved their reinforcements up from Lanchow. Unfortunately, it's mountains. really ain't very good for doing much of anything. They haven't really moved much over here. They'll probably do something off camera. I'll just move them up for them. And that was the end of the communists. And now we start the fascist impulse. The fascists are going to start over here. And we're going to DoW Greece. That's going to be the Italians. The Germans are going to join in through their Level 3 treaty. So I got to put all those markers out, so I'll be right back. Okay, we have the Germans taking a land and the Italians taking a naval. Italians are going to sortie their fleet. And a whole bunch of other stuff. That's going to go, is this going to go to here? Okay, so all these guys are coming down here, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. This goes 3. Actually, you can go 4. He goes 4. He goes 4. And all basically get in the 3 box. And we're going to have an amphibious assault. It's going to be right here. You got 4, 8, 9. There's no modifier for the box. Okay, we have the Germans. We'll move them now. Alright, we're going to do a can't remember, ground strike first. We're going to do the ground strike. We got 2 dice. 2 dice for the ground strike. We got a 5 and an 8, and the 5 does it. So that flips over Mr. Greek. Goes back here. He's flipped over. Now we got movement. Is there a river there? No. Okay. Got this one will go here. Alright, so we got an attack here, and we got a naval invasion here. Okay. Alright, so we got 1, 3, 5 points. He has a 1-point notional. He is adjacent to some of his land units, so that's a 2-point notional. He's surprised, so that makes it a 1-point notional. There's no shore bombardment modifier. Not defending a city. So it's a 1-point notional. We have 5. I'm going to add 3 battleships for a shore bombardment. So that's a 10. 10 to 1. They win. They don't even get turned over. Over here, we have 8. We got 10, 17, 23, 28, 34 to 8, which is 4 to 1 plus 1. So obviously going to have to be on the assault table. I don't think the Greeks would take anything less than that. Alright, on the assault table, 4 to 1 plus 1. And the die roll is a 7. 4 to 1 plus 1, that's an 8. It's actually not that great. The Greek unit is dead, but half the German units are turned over. Okay, so he is gone. Half the German units are turned over. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 units here. Oh, okay. Got to turn over 3. I think the mechanized units don't move too good in mountains, do they? Oh, it's 3. 2 for leg. I'll turn this one over. We'll turn this one over. And we'll turn this one over. Yep. Okay. Oh, and we'll occupy the hex as we can. Now we got for the fascists, get the paragraphs. Air rebasing. Got a rebase for the Germans. Right there, and the Italians. Go right there as well. I think you can do that. All right, I'll look it up later. Okay, okay, let's go to see what the Japanese are going to do. I think Japan is going to pick a combined. All right, let's go take a look. Actually, I'll do the movement and I'll come right back. Alright, Japan's doing a combined. She did her 2 naval moves already and did the land moves I needed to do. There was only a few. And actually, before I did the land moves, I put the ground strikes out. I just haven't rolled them yet. So we got 3 ground strikes here, and I got a ground strike down here. So we got 2, 2, and a 1. So we'll roll 2 dice at a time. First 2. Let's get some dice rolls on screen here. Okay, the first unit is flipped. So the Landchow Militia is flipped. And the next air unit. Nope. And there's a 1. You got a 1. Yeah. And that didn't do it either. Okay, so the Landchow Militia is flipped. He will do HQ benefits, which means Mao has to do HQ benefits to counter it. But it's going to be a +1. It's going to be 2 to 1 +1. Not looking good. Got to do something though, right? Okay, over here we have 2 ground strikes. They're both at 1. So the red die will be the top unit. Oh yeah, that's good. A 10. Yeah, that always works. Alright, fly back home. These 3 guys will fly back to Sinian, whatever that town is. And we got 4 to 1 here. Oh, he's got 4. I got 5 to 1 here, and a 2 to 1 +1 here. Alright, this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure of it. The Chinese obviously going to take the salt table. We'll do the 5 to 1 first. Do I want to do HQ benefits? Yes, I'm doing HQ benefits here, so that's going to be a 5 to 1 +1. Oh God, it was a 9. 5 to 1 +1 is a 2, is a 1, 1. They lose 1, and Japan loses 1. Not exactly what they were looking to accomplish. But the worst part for the Japanese is that everybody is flipped over. Basically puts a halt. How much is that unit? Actually, it's actually cheaper. It takes less time to rebuild the militia unit. So we'll lose the militia. Alright. And now we got 2-to-1 plus 1 over here. Oh, that's a little bit better. Let's see, we got a 6. 2-to-1 plus 1. 6 would be a 7. 7. Alright, let's take a look at this on the assault chart so you can see the chart. I do this once in a while, not all the time, but so this is the Blitzkrieg table. Okay, and this is the assault table right here. So we have 2-to-1 odds, roll a 6, which becomes a 7, which is hash 1. So the defender loses 1 unit. Don't know if the attacker is flipped over. I think he is. The attacker is flipped over. So that's going to pretty much end Japan's offensive. The Chinese will lose the militia unit, obviously. Where did I put those? Oh, they're up here. Okay. And all the Japanese units are flipped over. I don't think they have to retreat. No, they don't. There's no retreat called for. All the Japanese units are flipped over, which means that's it for offensive activity up here. So Japan's turns are going to be really short now. Okay. There's no air rebasing, none of that stuff. Okay, I'll come right back with the Democrat turn. Okay, so the Democrats and the Communists have already done their movement. Here in China, the Communists reinforced the hex that the Japanese had attacked, and it's even stronger than ever. So Japan might have to come up with some other idea for trying to break that line. It's actually a pretty strong line. Okay, let's go over here. Check out. Wow, okay. So we have an Italian ground strike. There's 2 units there. I don't know if the fleet is ground. No, that's a port attack. Okay, so there's really only 1 unit. Okay, so he gets a 1 die for 2. Got a 10. Nope. That was a big failure. So he flies back to where he came from. The Germans did their movement. The Italians did their movement. I don't think there's any attacks. I think that's it. Okay. Alright, now the Democrats roll weather. A 1. I'm sorry, a 2. No modifier to the die roll. 2 is fair weather everywhere. The thing still goes up 1. The impulse marker. Alright. So we'll do the Democrat impulse, Communist impulse, and then I don't think there's going to be any attacks. Then I'll come back with what the fascists are going to do. Okay, we're back around to the Democrats again. The weather roll was a 5. Now, the Chinese don't need to do anything. The British can get by without doing anything, and the Free French don't need to do anything. Neither does US. They're all going to pass. So a die roll of 2 will end the turn, and a 4 continues the turn. The Communists are going to try the same thing. A die roll of 9 continues the turn. Now we're back to the fascists. Germany's going to do a land impulse. That's an oil. Burning that oil up. She's got a strategic bombing mission against London. First of its kind. And over here, this guy's going to move here. And I think maybe, I think we got a 4-to-1, right? He's got 7. 7 is 15, 21, 26, 28. 28 to 7. 4-to-1 plus 1. We'll try a ground strike. I really should do the ground strikes before I move, but it really doesn't make any difference. What happened to all my dice? Oh. Okay. So that's a 4. Ha. Oh, stupid. 7. 7 does 0. So we got a 4-to-1. The Greeks are going to choose the assault table, obviously. 4-to-1 plus 1. Four to 1 plus 1. The assault table is 1 axis, 1 attacker loss, 2 defender loss. Show that real quick here. You got a 4-to-1. Roll the 4. That becomes a 5. 4-to-1. There's the assault table. 5, 4-to-1. There's a 1-2. So 1 German unit will be lost, or 1 Italian unit will be lost. We'll have to see which is which here. Yeah. They all seem to cost the same. I guess the infantry corps with the Germans will have to go away. And these guys are done. Now the naval units will be displaced. I'm going to assume they're going to flee to Alexandria or someplace. The Italians are not going to intercept. Too many of their ships are flipped over, so these guys are dead. Actually, the Italians should try to intercept that. No flipper unit. Let's see if we can intercept. No, rolled a 9, so that's going to be no interception there. The Italians are going to move into the hex. Everybody's turned over. So much for that. So Greece is conquered. Oh, we got the strategic bombing. Strategic bombing. All right. I gotta get these dice out of the way. Micro dice. Use them to mark things. All right, so I'm gonna drag everything out and put it over here so we can see what's going on. The British are obviously going to intercept with their 1 fighter. They have a Hawker Hurricane. It's going to intercept. We have 2 German fighters. So we'll make the bomber and the fighter trails. And then we got the bombers. We want the worst bombers first. Best ones in the back. Oh, excuse me. All right. Guess that looks good for a bomber stream. We got the fighter stream. All right. There we go. We can see everything now. All right. So air combat. First attack of the Blitz. Blitz is on. The Blitz is on. We have air combat. So we have the Germans are at 6.5 to the British 5. So it's going to be a difference of 1.5. So it's going to be a -2 for the Commonwealth. -2. They roll first. And they rolled a 15 on the -2 chart. Defender aborts. Defender aborts own front fighter or front bomber. Okay, so the Germans have to abort either the front fighter or the front bomber. They're going to abort the front fighter. Okay, now it's the Germans' turn to roll on the +2 column. This could go bad. They rolled a 15. On the +2 column, defender kills. Defender, player not rolling, destroys own front fighter or front bomber. So the British, and that is a yellow box. The pilot does survive. So the British fighter is destroyed. They get a pilot because he parachuted out and survived. And the strategic bombing goes through. Now what do we got? We got 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 11 factors here on the strategic bombing chart. Wherever that is. Oh, there it is. Tucked in the corner. So it's 1 die. What did I say I had? 11? 4, 6, 11. So the Germans have 11 factors. So you roll 1 die. It's a low altitude mission. We did fight air combat, so there's no plus. So it's just 1 die roll. It's a unbelievable 9. 9. 3 production points lost. So the Commonwealth will lose 3 production points. We'll have to note that. CW -3 PP. And all these bombers get flipped over and go home. Okay, oh, and the fighter does too. He goes back to Calais. This guy will go here. Condor. Here. Can actually get out there a little ways. All right, so that's the end of the fascist turn. Roll to see if the Japanese got nothing going on. Yeah, most of the army got flipped over, so they really don't have any opportunity to do anything right now. We'll just roll to end the turn. I believe it's a 2 now. 9, nope. Democrats are up. Okay, I'm going to run through the turn and I'll come back probably with production. I don't anticipate, well, something might happen, but I'll just start running through the turn. Okay, we're back at the German impulse, the fascist impulse rather. The Italians are just moving a few land units around in Italy in preparation of deploying more troops to probably Africa, I would say. Okay. The Spanish are good where they are. They're not going to move their fleet. They don't want to, otherwise the Mediterranean fleet will come out and schmuck them. So the subs, the Germans sorted the subs. They are, let's see, if I pay per oil, it will be less. Yes, okay. Okay, so they're going to try to, they're going to search. They're going to try to initiate a combat here. Okay, the fascists rolled a 3, and the Democrats rolled a 10, or the Commonwealth. Now, hold on one second, I got to get that table. Okay, so the search rolls came out that the Commonwealth didn't find anybody because they rolled a 10, and the Germans rolled a 3, which is modified to a 2, so they can include all their subs. They got 6 surprise points, so they're going to go with submarine combat. There's 14 here. All right. What do we got? We got 2, 4, 6. 6 and 6. It's got 12. We got 12 sub-factors. The Commonwealth just rolled like crap. Just total crap right there. 12 sub-factors. Sub and ASW. There's no ASW because I thought the convoy points 1 per 5. I have to check that. Okay, so I figured that out. So their convoys give them 2 ASW, and there are 6 submarines. It's the lowest of 3. No, I'm sorry. That's 1 damaged. Or I could just, yeah, 1 damaged. So he picks. Let's see. I'd probably take the one that's the easiest to damage, like that one right there. So the German rolls a die to save that sub. Nope. So he's going to go back and be damaged. Now we got 12 submarine factors, and we'll shift it 1 column with our surprise points. He has 14, which is per 3 is 5. 5 enemy ships. 1 sunk, 2 damaged. 1 sunk, 2 damaged. So that's going to be 6 damaged and 3 sunk. 6 damaged, 2, 4, 6, and 3 sunk. Okay, 3 sunk. 3 sunk. Alright, I gotta go get some change. I'll be back. Okay, the Germans would like to go another round. We'll roll search dice again. Nobody found anybody. Rolled a 6 and an 8. So that's the end of that combat right there. Okay. We will roll to end the turn. Yes, that's where we're at. 9, nope. Okay, so I'm gonna run through like I did before, and if anything happens, I'll be back. Alright, production. Oh, the turn ended on the communist impulse. They passed, which was just enough so they could end the turn. So that moved the initiative marker 1 place to the right for the fascists, because they didn't get their last impulse. The Democrats and the Communists got an extra impulse. So they're now in the +2 box. Alright, production. So Germany is producing 34. They got a card rate, so that's 35. Started with 31, they spent 40. All kinds of stuff. HQs, artillery, aircraft, pilots, repaired ships. Alright, Japan. They produced 19. Neither Japan nor Germany saved in oil. They got 1 for a card rate, which is 20. So started with 11 and they spent 12. Italy produced 10. Started with 7, spent 12. That's what they spent it on, right there. The Japanese, this is what they pulled the Musashi out of the construction pool. Nice big battleship. Alright, USSR Produced 15, started with 12, and spent 14. They built an HQ, and they're actually going to finish a ship. We got plans for that. The Commonwealth produced 14. Their production is starting to get hammered a little bit. Started with 8, and they spent 13, including repairing ships that were in the repair pool. The USA produced 19, started with 16, and spent 16. They actually managed to dig out a fighter. Well, that's not it. This one right here. A fighter that can be lend-leased to England. All right, China produced 5, got 1 from a cadre, got 1 from the US. That gives them 7. Started with 8 and spent 9. So the Chinese are becoming a problem, for the Japanese anyways. The Free French, they produced 1, started with -5, and spent nothing. The Vichy French produced 3, started with 6, lent 1 to Germany, so that leaves them with 5. Now that Vichy has a is hostile to any major power, they can lend build points to Germany. Lend, lease, or give, or whatever you want to call it. So I will get these units on the circle, and I will get this turn put together and uploaded, and thanks for watching. I appreciate it.